I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So for today's video, I wanted to share details on my no spend year. You heard that right. And also, if you are clicking on this video, it's because you saw the title. I'm doing a no spend year. So my husband and I decided to do this after I had already come out with my New Year's resolutions, and it was something that I felt like God laid on my heart. I had already posted my resolutions about reading through the Bible in a year and working out 4 to 5 times a week. And then I just kind of felt like God was laying on my heart to say, like, you need to stop spending money and you need to do a no spend year. So I wanted to share details on that. And I do have my rules here on my laptop. So I'm going to open that up so I can share all of the information on that. It's going to be a little bit laid back. I'm in a new location, if you couldn't tell. I'm experimenting with different locations. I'll probably use this for the near future because I don't know, it's a blank wall. We'll find out. I'm also using my phone, so it's different than my my computer camera, which is it's much nicer. So, all right. So my no spend year. For those of you who've never heard of it, a no spend year is where it's exactly what it sounds like. It's where your goal is to not spend any money. That probably makes you ask the obvious questions. Where are you going to get your food? Where are you going to get your clothes? No spend years work exactly the way you want them to. You have your own rules. You do your own thing. In our family, in my household, we are really, really working hard to pay off debt, and I can feel it. This is going to be the year where we tackle a lot of it. And that is because we have set the rules that we have. So the first one that I want to share is about restaurants. That is where one of our biggest kind of spending types, it's where we spend the most money, basically. My husband typically will get breakfast somewhere at a fast food restaurant. He'll get lunch at a fast food restaurant. And then I will go get dinner. So my husband works 2 jobs. That's first off, that's something we would like to do away with. We would love for him to not have to work 2 jobs. I work full time, he works full time, and then he has a part-time job. But because he works 2 jobs, for dinner, it's just me and my son. And so when it comes to dinner time, there are times where I've just had a really stressful day and I'm like, I'm just gonna go out to a restaurant, get takeout, whatever. That's a place where we spend a lot of money. Like restaurants is the number one money sucker for us as a family. So our number one rule is no restaurants except once a month. And I do want to say, like I said, with no spend years, this is something that you have to come up with the rules yourself for your family, for your household. These are the rules that we have. And it may seem like we have a lot of exceptions, but it's because I'm trying to think of things ahead of time, any possible scenarios, so that we have answers prepared before it comes up. So for restaurants, we are planning on doing once a month, if at all. We go to church on Sundays, and we have some friends who will go out to lunch on Sundays, and we're still very new to that church, still working on getting to know people, and so for us, we see that as a fellowship opportunity. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, I see that as something that is worth spending money on, but that's something that we want to be very careful about. So we will allow it once a month, and that's it. If we don't go out with friends, it'll be date night. We're really bad at making time for just the 2 of us because my husband works so much. So that's one of our rules. And then another rule is when it comes to shopping, essentials only. It's got to be on the list. So I am really great at coming up with a list and then buying a bunch of extra stuff. It actually already happened yesterday, getting groceries. But it was all essential things. It was just stuff that I forgot to put on the list. Normally I do, this is something that I'm sharing about in my next video as well. Normally I will come up with like a meal plan, like our meals for every day. I didn't really do a strict meal plan this week. I bought groceries knowing what meals I want to do in my head, but I didn't write them down, and it wasn't meals that are very, truthfully, that are very cohesive. So it wasn't a lot of things that use the same ingredients, so that we didn't need to buy a lot of them. But anyway, the point is, because I'm going to normally be doing a more strict meal plan that I stick to from now on, since I don't have the option of eating out, when I'm normally doing that, I'm gonna be sticking to my list. In this case, I was out and realized, forgot to add this to the list, and I'm out. Like Parmesan cheese was one of them. So yes, shopping, essentials only. It's got to be on the list. So I'm also big into thrifting. And so one of the things that I'm keeping in mind when I do shop for essentials, like I have a growing child, obviously, like I'm pretty much in the same size, but my son is not. He is constantly growing. When I go to the store to get like new things for him, it's gotta be thrift store purchases for the most part. My rule, that's kind of been something that I've been doing for a long time anyway. This entire outfit, this was a hand-me-down from my mom. This shirt, these jeans were used. This necklace came free with something that I bought. So, the point is, like, I'm very big into secondhand, used, thrifted items. So that's something I'm already good at, is finding the cheapest alternative first. It's also more sustainable to buy things that are thrifted, so you've kind of got the circular economy going, as opposed to making these like merchandisers like make new items for you. I could go off on a tangent about the circular economy. But yeah, so shopping, it's got to be on the list. I love thrifting. That's what I was going to say. I love thrifting. And so when I go thrifting, it is very easy for me to find things and say, oh, this is nice. And there are some exceptions for that. When it comes to buying clothes for my son, I always buy, the priority is always stuff that's his current size, and then I sort of look for the next size up so that I can have a few items in case he has a crazy growth spurt and everything suddenly doesn't fit, because that does happen for kids. But when I say there are some exceptions, what I mean is there may be a time that I find a really nice pair of overalls that are 2 sizes up. I'm okay with getting that if it's thrifted and it's $2. If it's something brand new, that can wait. And that's something I've gotten very good at with telling myself when it comes to sales and thrifted things, is I'll find something like that when it's the right time. So when it comes to finding stuff for him, like a jacket that's really nice, that's like 4 sizes up. First off, I don't know if he's going to be, when he's in that size, I don't know if it's going to be like winter and he's going to need a coat. But yeah, so when it comes to shopping, long story short, gotta be on the list unless it's a rare circumstance. Like I said, something that's very nice that is like $2 at the thrift store. Another thing, another rule when it comes to like drinks, no Starbucks, none of that. An exception is if I get a gift card. An exception to all of this is if I get a gift card. So I have a gift card from Christmas I haven't spent yet. Like, I'm planning on getting some books as well as some essentials. That's a gift card. It's a gift. It's very different. But when it comes to using my own, like money that I have budgeted and stuff, there won't be drinks. There won't be Starbucks, nothing. Next, personal care, when it comes to that kind of stuff, like going to the nail salon, it's going to be haircuts only. That's the only thing that I can do when it comes to any kind of personal care. And I may not get a haircut. I don't get my haircut often. I never have to cut split ends off because I don't get split ends. I don't really use heat products on my hair. Let me see. Here are the exceptions that I have. And that is when it comes to restaurants, that's going to be only if I am on a trip with family. So we travel to see family a lot. We don't really go on vacations. If we do, it's very, very rare if we do. And typically when we do, truthfully, it's like my parents are like providing stuff, like just for everybody. Like they're providing the hotel or something. But because we are in a place where we are like paying off debt, we don't go on trips that like we initiate. It's only like going to see family for the night or something like that. We were just in Kentucky to see some of my husband's family, for example. So yeah, one of the exceptions is going to a restaurant with family. My family loves to gather around food. That's something that we're very big into. So I do think that this will be a good time for us to say, hey, maybe come to our house and we'll make you dinner. Because it's already happened yesterday, the day I'm filming this, 2 days ago, sorry. It was January 1st. And on January 1st, we went to a restaurant with my parents. It's just what happens. My family loves to go out to eat. But one thing that we are working on is staying strong when it comes to that and not literally buying into or giving into what our family wants us to do. If they say, hey, no, you can come out to eat with us, it's just this once, we have to put our guard up. We have to establish boundaries and be willing to say no for the sake of us getting out of debt. That's more important than being just with family for 1 hour to eat. So like for us, if anything, we could just go sit with them. Actually, we did that. So yeah, on the first, went out to eat. On the second, we had lunch and then we met up with my parents who were out to eat with my grandparents for like 15 minutes. We just sat at the table with them. It was fine. It's not ideal, but that's just a case where we are really trying to stay strong with this. Another thing is excursions, and the exception for that is only with family. So if we are with family and we go to my parents' house for the weekend and everyone wants to go to a museum, if we have money for it and we've budgeted it out, that's another thing, is we don't want to do last minute stuff. It's got to be budgeted. So if my sisters want to take all the kids to the museum or something and we're the only ones not going and we've got extra money available, which is very rare, we will go. But that's something that is a very rare exception. And like I said in the beginning, the only reason that I have a lot of exceptions is because I'm trying to plan for things ahead of time. And the only reason the idea of excursions even came up is because my sisters wanted to go to a museum here where we live. And so that was just something, that I thought of. I was like, I need to plan for excursions. Personal care. There is one big work event that I go to every year, a very big event, and I am going to get my nails done that one time, and that's it. Again, like I said, planning ahead, thinking of everything. Some people may see this as cheating. This is it, getting my nails done once a year as opposed to like every other week. Hello. Some things to keep in mind that I have here. Those are the exceptions, and then now I have things to keep in mind. And I have this all on my phone as well, so that I always have access to it. Things to keep in mind. Thrifted first, full price as a backup. So I'm never going to look at stores for full price items unless we can't find something thrifted. For example, with my son's shoes, that's something that I will always make exceptions for. If I find a pair of shoes that's 4 sizes up, but it is really nice, we're going to get those. If you have a toddler, shoes are outrageously expensive for little children when it's like the shoe is going to fit them for 2 months. I'm okay with buying really expensive shoes that are going to last me 15 years. I'm not okay with spending a lot of money on shoes that are going to last my son 4 months. That's outrageous. I could make an entire video on that. So if I'm at the thrift store, when I'm shopping for essentials for my son or myself, I always go through the aisle that has the little kids' shoes. If I find something that looks new, that's in really great shape, I'm going to get it. Because, for example, we just had to get him some $17 shoes. You may say, oh, 17, that's not much. But when the shoes are this big and they're going to last a month, that's awful. But yeah, so full price, again, as a backup only. Okay, another thing that I wrote is meal plan. So, I showed this earlier, and I'm going to show this in my next video as well. I'm not great at meal prepping, but meal planning is something that I am pretty decent at. That's literally just making sure that I have a plan for every single meal. So I will be including all of the details about the meals here. This also has a shopping list. This is, by the way, several years old, from Hearth and Hand by Magnolia. You can make something like this on Microsoft Word, so don't feel like you have to get something new. But I will be writing out the meals here, probably not using the shopping list, like I said. But normally what I would do in the past when I would meal plan was only write down the dinner that my son and I are having, because again, my husband works at night. But I'm going to be keeping track from now on of both breakfast and dinner, because lunch, he's at daycare, and then for me, I'll put my lunch on here. But that's I'm just wanting to keep track of things. I'm wanting to make sure that I have a plan in place, and that'll also help me utilize the things that I have in my pantry. I feel like everybody has a can of green beans or a can of corn that they don't know about. I just go to your pantry and look, you probably have one. I want to make use of the things that I always have sitting in my pantry. And so this is one way that I can do that. So, but yeah, so that is my, my no spend year. I will be posting updates maybe like once a month just on how things are going. I want to have grace with myself, because I know that there are going to be times where something comes up, and I mean, if our power is out, for example, and our stove doesn't work and we have no other way to make food, we're going to go to a restaurant. Like, we're not going to starve ourselves for the sake of the no spend year. But that's extremely rare circumstances, things that you don't plan for. But those are our goals. We're really hoping to tackle a lot of debt this year. I'm actually, like, the more I think about it, the more excited I get, which is wild to me, because I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that, like, for example, if I'm getting something essential on Amazon, like a hairbrush. There's like a specific kind that I use because I have very thin hair. If I get a new one on Amazon and it's like spend $5 more to get free shipping, no, I'm not going to give into that. Or just like if I'm getting something small and shipping is $7, I'm not going to get something else just for the sake of, oh, well, I've got to, fill the box. It's not necessary. I don't need to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, that is everything for my no spend year. I would love to have you subscribe to tag along with my journey. If you are doing a no spend year, I'd love to know down below, what are your thoughts on the rules that I established in the exceptions? What are your rules? I'd love to have a chat about that, kind of even keep each other accountable. Keep on watching, stay subscribed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and stick around for my next video. I'm going to be sharing about ways that I am staying organized in 2023. Bye.